So yeah, we live right now. You know what I'm saying? You did.
Peace.
Hey man, I think we on. Let me make sure the music right. Hey, we're gonna turn up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
We here.
We here with it. What's going on, family? Rise and rise, family. And we back with another big banger. Let's go. We got your man Cobe Rise and Rise Academy. You got your man Showtime out here.
So time.
We back with a banger. We got something real special for y'all. We had a real good podcast last time. So you already know how we gonna come today.
Know it.
We're gonna come a little bit harder this time. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna add a little bit more detail to it. So yeah, remember last time we talked about, giving the people a little bit more about what they wanted. And we was talking about like getting into the depths of like what to eat, what to drink. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is going to be a real big topic because everybody be asking me about this. Everybody asks me, like, Cobe, I'm working out. I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. But man, what am I supposed to eat? You know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to be drinking? I think that's the missing touch. Like, what exactly am I supposed to be doing? So, I think we're going to give them the gems on this one. What you think, Sho?
We got to. Yep. We got to. Like you said, man, that's one of the biggest confusions that we get, is, man, what do we eat? What do we eat? How important is it? What do we drink?
Yeah,
they say, some even go as far as to say, man, your health and wellness is 80% nutrition. Some do.
That's
20% physical.
Do you agree with that?
I do, man. I do wholeheartedly. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're extremely mindful of what you're putting inside your body. Food is fuel, and we can kick it with that. So food is fuel. I've spoken in the past, and I'll just dive right into a transparent example of what happens when you take carbs away from your body. So that you have some people will say, well, cut your carbs if you want to lose weight. There's all types of different perspectives. But from my experience, I don't like to cut the carbs because your carbs are your direct source of energy. Mm-hmm. So generally speaking, people that feel like, okay, well, I eat a lot of breads, I overindulge on my carbs, so I just want to cut them all out altogether. That's where I normally see some issues. I've had a client come in before, man, I could tell something was different. He came into a session and he just kind of was trying the nutrition portion. I guide my clients, but I'll dig as deep as you want me to dig. So he was kind of just doing some experimenting around, and he heard that, okay, well, maybe I should cut carbs. And he came into a session and I physically could see, that his energy was low. And I asked him about it. We started talking. He was like, well, yeah, man, I'm cutting carbs. Cutting carbs, and he wasn't able to bring any type of energy to the session. How you feel about the cutting carbs?
I actually put that on the bottom scrolls. You can probably see that, man. You know what I'm saying, for people who are looking. But, I'm going to say I actually agree with you. I don't think you should all the way cut carbs out. Now, I do. I guess I want to be clear, too, when it comes to carbohydrates, because, a lot of people lost weight when they did cut carbs. So I can't say, I'm not going to say cut them out. I'm not going to say all the way intake them. I'm going to say have a healthy balance, because I think we need carbs as far as energy source. I think we need carbs to help us fuel ourselves when it comes to gaining weight. I think you need both carbs and protein to do that. You know what I'm saying? So but I also agree that I'm not going to say overindulge in the carbs, because carbs can turn into fat, sugar, carbs can turn into sugar, which can lead to other things, other ailments, that maybe the complications, or it could cause complications just depending on the person, So I will say I agree with you. I think we need to have a balance to make sure you're taking healthy carbs and taking good carbs to utilize as fuel sources, energy, and not just be overindulgent. Like I'm not gonna tell somebody who's trying to lose weight to oh, it's okay to eat a pancake because it's carbs. I'm not gonna say that because that's extra sugar and stuff that's added into it. That's gonna add more things into their diet. That's actually gonna hold them back from probably losing the weight. Now, I'm not gonna say cut them out completely. Like if you're doing good, maybe having one pancake is not going to be terrible as long as you have the right mindset to keep it going and the right discipline to make sure you're doing everything else throughout your day. So if you're going to have that pancake, you got to make sure you're doing balancing out with some healthy proteins and healthy fats, like getting your almonds, getting your mixed nuts. I'm very, very big on that. Making sure you get your fruits, your vegetables, making sure you're drinking your water and working out because you got to use that pancake as your energy source to go work it out. Now you got to go burn it off. You dig what I'm saying? So I want to be clear when it comes to people and their carbs because I agree. Use your carbs to your benefit. If you're gonna intake the carbs, make sure you use it as an energy source, like you were saying. Sometimes you come in there in the gym, you be tired because you're not using the right energy source. That's gonna come from a little bit of carbs. So I think you need the carbs for sure. And I think it's a healthy balance, a nice healthy shift. So to the overall answer, should we intake carbs? I agree. I think we need to intake carbs, but I also need to be clear that you are utilizing your carbs for what you're supposed to be using it for. And that's energy source to burn off when you go into the gym. You know what I'm saying? And not using it to store in your body. And that can turn into sugars and all that other stuff that not necessarily may not ail in your losing weight, goal. Excuse me. So that's my take on it. That's my opinion, but that's what I think
Definitely.
overall.
Definitely. And you mentioned, um, and that's what I like to go in depth with and have people understand that there are good carbs, and then we have bad carbs, just like there are good fats,
Mm,
and then we have bad fats. So some of this our body actually
mm,
needs. I
mm,
love, man, some whole wheat pastas, whole wheat breads. It's good and rich in fiber. That helps with digestion. So there's all sorts of reasoning for carbs. And then, like you said, there also is benefits in cutting some carbs as well. So that's and to sum that portion up, like if you wanna play with the carbs a little bit, y'all know I do a little bit of the natural physique type shows, so I try to actually work on my physique, and sometimes it does require me just to play a little bit with my proteins, play a little bit with my carbs, play a little bit with my fats. But all that definitely comes with understanding my body. When I'm training, well, when I'm coaching bodybuilders or training bodybuilders, I'm learning their body. We're learning their body together. We're understanding. Okay, so what kind of bloats you a little bit? What kind of we're paying close attention to those foods that cause us. I know you spoke about getting over
mm.
some sicknesses by going plant based or some illnesses that you had.
Absolutely.
And understanding that if you feel like um, cutting the carbs, you feel a drain of energy. We may have to get some carbs. Just be realistic with yourself, understand your body, and we always mention too. Definitely consult that physician. Get a little help. Your physician definitely probably can help you a little bit and steer you in the right direction on, especially when it comes to cutting things completely out of your
Hmm.
eating habits.
Yo, I wholeheartedly, man, you broke it down, and I think you actually raised a really great question. I put it down there is, you said there are definitely healthy carbs and there are definitely, bad carbs. And so I guess my question really is um, what are some healthy carbs that, people can eat?
I like I mentioned,
What's
I
what's
mentioned
the
the wheat
people?
pastas, whole wheat
Yep.
breads, um, things like that. They used to put them on the bottom of the food pyramid, the old school food pyramid. All the things that you see on the bottom. You can get some
Yeah.
oatmeal is good. Oatmeal is actually one of your. That's a complete carb. That's one of the great ones. My client
There
was
you go.
telling me how she's getting her baby, got the infant on that at a young age. That's a real good one. And I'm not talking about the Quakers with all the sugar. I'll be honest with you. I've had a few of the little quick Quaker packages you pop open. Toss it in,
Yeah.
put some milk, some water in, stir it up, and get you a little oats. And I'm talking about the good oats, especially them steel cut oats. And
Yeah.
it's all about just fueling your body. With that, I definitely want to mention if you want to go a healthy route with your oats. I know a lot of people that try the oats, they feel like, man, it's too plain. And what Quaker does is Quaker adds all those sugars. Quaker adds the artificial bananas, the artificial strawberries, so it tastes a little bit better for us. But we can do that
Mm,
same thing with some natural sweeteners like some agave, some honey, add a little fruit,
mm, yeah.
and I definitely wanted just to mention some of the bad carbs because I spent about 5 minutes today shopping on the bread aisle, trying to
Yeah.
look for what bread. I just want bread. I don't want enriched. I don't want bleach. I don't want
There you go.
all this,
There
all
you
of that.
go. Come on.
I
Come
just
on.
want
Talk to
bread.
him.
You feel me? So whole wheats,
Talk to him.
and and that's basically, and this is my perspective. That's basically your biggest difference when it comes to those good carbs and those bad carbs. The good carbs, we're getting more closer to the actual source. So your whole wheat breads, your whole wheat pastas are the actual source. All right, so we
Mm,
start to enrich it for taste. When we get the different sorts of pastas, the different sorts of breads, the honey butter breads. Who does that? Big Nature's Own is big on the honey butter breads,
yeah.
and just
Yeah.
sweetening it, just make it taste really good and pleasing to our palate.
Go
Um,
ahead. Come on.
yeah, and we just want to be mindful. I'm not big on taking away your favorite breads. I don't want to get. I'm real cautious in folks' kitchen. I don't want to take away your favorite foods. I don't want to take away your favorite breads. But
Yeah.
I do
Come
highly
on.
recommend that if weight loss is our goal, that we're looking at those good carbs and bad carbs. And definitely when it comes to the bad carbs, we just consume in moderation. Everything in moderation.
Yo. Oh man. Woo. Hey, you might have hurt some feelings on that one, man. In a
Yeah,
good
man,
way,
no picture.
in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying? Because like, how many people love that Nature's Own sweetener, that
Come
honey
on,
bread, you know what
come
I'm saying?
on,
That honey wheat,
come on.
I know that key word honey wheat, they think, oh, it's healthy, right? All
We
right.
grew up
Look,
on
you just gave them the game.
it. We
Hey, I
grew up
want y'all to be
on
careful. Like, be careful with these words, y'all. These words will play you. Okay. These words will play y'all.
it. Facts,
Read
facts,
the ingredients on what you buying. Because if you
facts,
don't, you're gonna realize there are gonna be things that you thought you was eating healthy that's causing your own setbacks.
facts,
You
facts.
said
And
enriched, bleach. Think about these key words. But what you see is you might see something like, oh, it's wheat. It's honey wheat. It's
definitely,
raw honey wheat. I mean, and I'm not picking on honey oat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not joining them or nothing like that. But I want to make sure that people are clear on these ingredients because these ingredients are going to be key factors when it comes to adding into these so-called carbohydrates, the bad carbs, the good carbs, things like that. You got to be really careful when it comes to these ingredients because that can deter you. And I actually was gonna give my take. Like when it comes to carbs, I try to stick to a whole food diet of carbs. And just to kind of give some facts, there are different carbs out there. And the different carbs are sugar, starch, and fiber. Those are the main types of carbohydrates, you know what I'm saying, coming from a scientific approach, you know what I'm saying? And these sources are backed by the mayoclinic.org. You can do your research, you know what I'm saying? You can go to their website. They have a healthy and lifestyle website talking directly about nutrition and healthy eating. And it goes in depth about carbohydrates specifically, just to give you some understanding. But you can get carbs from fruits, vegetables, milk, nuts, grains, seeds, beans like lentils, black beans, things like that. You can get carbs from all these different things, the whole foods, and I want to say that because I want you guys to stick to those whole foods, like you said, the nuts and the grains and things like that. Oatmeal, like you said, it's a complete carbohydrate. I totally agree. That's a healthy carbohydrate. You get a healthy balance of them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think one carb is better than the other. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need sugars. You know, we need the simplest forms of them. We know we need a little bit of starch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say we need all starch, but we need a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the complex carbs is what makes it good and it helps it bond together, like the cooked dry beans. But it includes fiber. You know, it's a complex carbohydrate. It's naturally in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, the beans and peas, things like that. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, my opinion, I'm gonna stick to a more. I'm gonna recommend a more alkaline route because I'm big on energy. I'm big on being energetic and alive and electric. You know what I'm saying? Think about like a battery. Dr. Sebi says this all the time. When you think about an alkaline battery, you think long lasting. You know what I'm saying? You see the little commercial with the pink bunny rabbit. What he
Money, yeah,
doing? Beating on the
money
drum.
going,
Boom, boom, boom,
money
boom,
going,
boom. Going and
boom.
going and going and going. So remind yourself, you know, there's alkaline foods out there, you know what I'm saying, according to Dr. Sebi, and there are alkaline grains that you can eat that give you good carbs. You know, for example, spelt flour. You know, you can use spelt bread as a whole grain, excuse me, for carbohydrates, but a good carb because it's more alkaline based. You know what I'm saying? It's less acidic. You know, so if you looking at it from that approach, you can still get good carbs and you can still have an alkaline base, you know, diet when it comes to element in your carbs, you know. But I also agree with, you know, not everybody's going to be able to get that. So I agree with Showtime. If you can't get something like that, I would agree with sticking to the whole food complex carbohydrate, which is going to be your you know, your enriched fruits and vegetables. You know, aim for the whole fresh fruit. You know what I'm saying? Aim for the whole fresh vegetable. You know what I'm saying? Without the added sugars, because the added sugars is one thing that can kill it. You know what I'm saying? And that could be the difference between controlling your weight and not controlling your weight. You can control your weight by limiting the added additives that you see in these fruits, these vegetables, these products that you buy from these stores. You know, so keep in mind, stick to whole foods without added sugars. Even these fruit juices and things like that, be careful. Make sure they're coming from whole fruits. You know what I'm saying? Or eating dried fruits. You know, I agree with that because you're getting still the whole fruit. You know what I'm saying? The whole vegetable. Those are the fibers. Those are the carbs that you want to intake. You know, and even choosing your grains wisely. You want to make sure you're getting the high nutrients, like you said, oatmeal. That whole, you know, that complete whole wheat. That the less chemicals you have, the better. No additives or none of that. Keep it as whole as possible and read the back of those labels, because if you Google some of these labels, a lot of these things don't they're adding in, you know, chemical compounds to make it taste good, but those chemical compounds can have added sugars. So make sure you do your research on those. And for my people who actually eat dairy, my recommendation is sticking to a low fat dairy product. You know, if you're gonna do your cheese, if you're gonna do your meat, if you're gonna do your milk, your yogurts, um, you know, they're good sources of protein as well. But keep in mind, you know, with that added fat, you got added sugars, you got added calories, and beware, because what that does, that's gonna add in to you gaining the unhealthy weight. These are your unhealthy carbs. So those are for my dairy eaters out there. Be careful. Make sure it's low fat if you do that, and make sure it's from a whole good source as possible. Um, I agree with eating beans like peas, lentils, black beans. I like those. Black eyed peas, things like that. Be versatile when it comes to your legumes. I call them legumes. Chickpeas, actually. So again, I'm gonna go for more alkaline based for my people who are alkaline. Chickpeas, lentils. These are your legumes that you want to eat. They're good sources of fiber. They're healthy fats, and they're a good source of protein. It comes from a healthy substance, and those are your substitutes for your meat as well. What I like to do is I like to combine my healthy legumes, like your lentils and your chickpeas, for example. I combine them with wild rice. You know, wild rice is a carb, but it's a low starch carb, which is healthy too. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural form. They're all alkaline. combine them together to make a complete protein. So I would eat that like for breakfast or something in the morning. But I also would, get your fruits or something, get your vegetables if you can, in the morning. Combine it with your oatmeal if you want to, just to have that whole protein for my people who want to gain the weight. That's a healthy way to gain that weight. And that's a good way, to digest healthy carbs, healthy sugars, healthy starches. So it doesn't ail against your weight loss or doesn't ail against your weight gain. It also promotes that. So you're promoting healthy weight loss with healthy nutrients, healthy fats, and they're low fats, but they're high in the folate, potassium, your iron, the magnesium, the minerals, the chemical compounds that we need to fuel our body with the energy that we need to lose that weight. Because if we can lose the fat, the good fat, losing the fat on our bodies, losing the weight, which is increasing our muscle because we have to work out. The more muscle you have over the fat, you start to burn calories even when you leave the gym. So now you're in a whole new ballpark. These are your people who can go to the gym and work out and they can leave the gym. And what you eat, you're going to continue to burn calories. That is the key. To burn calories when you're even not in the gym. So for my wholeheartedly answer, I would say if you're gonna do your carbs, stick to a whole grain diet. And I think we already added some of the bad carbs, like the added sugars. Limit those. Um, Limit your processed foods, like and extra fats. Always limit the additives. Those are the bads that you really don't hear about, but that are inside of those so-called healthy carbohydrates. So that way you can control your weight, protect against disease and provide that good energy, like you were saying. So when you go into the gym, you can be energetic. You can go hard and go 110% when it comes to the gym.
There we go. There we go. Man, you said a mouthful on the carbs. I
I
just wanted
did.
to clean it up. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. You did. And you kept mentioning. You kept mentioning a couple things. I want to make sure people they wrote down some of those things that you were talking about to eat.
Yeah.
Some of those beans. Man, when I got introduced to the chickpeas, that took my the creativity you can get with those, and they're actually decent, man. I've had some
Yeah.
roasted chickpeas just kind of as a snack. I've had
Yeah.
them in meals with all different types of variations. Those are really good. So I hope they wrote down
Mhm.
some of those legumes that you was talking about and just some of those foods, those healthy carbs.
Yeah.
Um, and I wanted to share this. So a very simple way of looking at it. You kept talking about we don't necessarily need the extra additives. So the body needs nutrients. The
Yeah.
body is definitely food is our medicine. Food is our energy source. We get so much just from the foods we consume. And what happens is I got America's back. I realize that we're economically fueled. You see what's going on with inflation. We're about that dollar. We're about that dollar and the numbers adding up.
Already.
So
Absolutely.
it's not always purposely done. I feel like, and this is my honest perspective, I feel like a lot of times things are added into the foods to please our palates. We've conditioned our
Oh yeah.
palates. Most of us
I
have
agree.
conditioned our palates in a certain type of way to where we yearn, we want to have those. You feel me? Those Twinkies or whatever, because they made them so good. Like you were
Yeah.
saying, even in moderation is good, but
There you
sometimes
go.
they put different types of sugars. They find different types of things that may taste really good to us, but are not necessarily healthy for our body.
There
And
you
what
go.
happens is, just really simply putting it, if the body can't use it, it gets stored and converted as fat.
Oh,
And
come
that's
on.
really what slows us down. That's what accumulates around our belly, accumulates around our joints. It's all stuff that you feel me, like it wasn't necessarily food. It wasn't food. It wasn't medicine. It wasn't fuel. So it gets stored as fat. You feel me? And if we don't
Mm.
burn that off, like you kept saying about, burning those carbs off. If we don't burn that off, then that's where we start getting obesity. That's where the problems come in. You
There
feel
you
me? As
go.
it's stored up.
Come
So
on.
you definitely said some gems. I just want to leave them with that. I'm big on moderation. I'm not going to take it
Yeah.
from you because I know if I take it from you, you're going to want it. It's going to be like you're going to be itching for it. I know food is,
Yeah.
just a
There you
chemical
go. Yep.
psychological process, even
There
in
you go.
foods. Even in foods, it's just like a drug. Endorphins are released as we eat. So I
Mm.
understand that. And I would never
Yeah.
take, I don't take foods. I don't mess around in folks' kitchen. If you want to eat it, eat it.
Yeah,
I just highly recommend that you be true to self, like we spoke about last week, and understand, what you want out of your life, what you want out of,
that's true.
what's more serious, you consuming your favorite foods that may be hurting you, or you staying alive for your family, for your kids if you have kids, your spouse if you have a spouse, your siblings, your parents, your children, just
Hey,
that.
I wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartedly agree, man. And I think I guess a lot of us, man, in this fitness industry, like, because we get it. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have a different perspective on it. And you hit the nail on the hammer. We're not gonna get away from everything. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's here. People are gonna use it, people are gonna eat it. It is, what I'm saying? I think it's like you said, it's about being informed about what's going on. So that's why I always say, like, too, man, just read the labels on what you're eating. I think that's the most important thing, is just being informed if you're gonna eat whatever. I'm not gonna say you eat one bag of candy is gonna end your world. Like, I'm not gonna agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I like Skittles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not eating them every day. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, it's here, like, we get it. Like, it's like that. You still need that little taste. You know what I'm saying? So, I wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying, bro. And I think kind of leads to my next topic, man. Like, we talked about good carbs. You know what I'm saying? Now, we talk about intaking carbs, and I think we both agreed, wholeheartedly that, I think you should intake carbs, but my next one is, should we be intaking fats?
Facts, definitely, definitely,
What's your take
definitely.
on that?
You definitely need your good fat soup. So we spoke about this last week too. We highlighted, we touched and danced, but olive oil, that's one of my big ones. I always use that to cook with. Yeah, man, but you definitely, and people take advantage of it all the time. Oh man, I can get some fats. Let me get the fat. We're not necessarily speaking about the candies. Now we spoke in moderation, and you can reward yourself every now and
Yeah,
then. But
yeah.
yeah, definitely avocado, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a good fat. We have some, and then the crazy thing is they're good for us too.
Hmm. They are. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And that there are different types of fats out there. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of the big ones are to avoid the trans fat, and limit the saturated fats, but replace them with, like, the poly unsaturated fats. And these are all just the scientific words that you're gonna hear, when it comes to the whole eating your fats and things like that. The bad fats are like the trans fats, and that comes from the grease. Like you
Oh
said,
yeah,
it's these oils. Like, you get it
yeah,
in
Krispy
some of the
Kreme.
pizzas, you get it in some of these burgers and French fries, the fast foods. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, these things create inflammation in the body. That leads to heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cholesterol issues. You know what I'm saying? These are these trans fats, and they contribute to the insulin as well, for these diabetes problems that, people see, coming in. And actually, Harvard Harvard did a health study on these bad fats, man. Y'all can go check it out. They have it in their website. It's health.harvard.edu. You know what I'm saying? And you can check out exactly what these are, excuse me. And you can get your good fats from, like you said, these oils, but you can also get them from eating food as well. So for my meat eaters, you can get good sources of fat from certain meats. You can get them from whole milk. You can get them from some cheeses, but you can also get them from coconut oils. These things, like you said, the avocado oils, the olive oils, the virgin olive oils, things like that. These are some of the fats that you can take that can replenish. Excuse me. These are the healthy fats that you want to intake inside the body. You know what I'm saying? And you got so many different things. Like, you got mono unsaturated fats, polyunsaturated, and these things can be a little confusing, but I want to break it down and to say most of your fats are going to come from some of these oils and some nuts that you can eat, like Brazil nuts, pecans, almonds, walnuts, things like that. You can get your good fats from them. And I actually would recommend, and this is just my opinion, I recommend combining your fats, like your oils, with your proteins. Combine them two together to get you you can use that as your energy source. So if you don't want to eat your carbs, you can use your fats to replenish it. And this is where you hear the whole keto diet, craze trend is low carb, high fats. You know what I'm saying? And I think you need a healthy balance of both, like depending on what you're trying to do. I think for my people who are trying to lose weight, to 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 stay away from some of the carbs. I'm not going to say completely, but you can translate that into using your olive oils, eating your salmons. These are proteins. These are healthy fats. Um, Taking in your almonds, your grains, your nuts, things like that that can get you your protein, but they're also good fats that you have. You know what I'm saying? So you can use your fat as your energy source. Now, I'm not going to say do that 24/7. I won't recommend that because I think we still need carbs because we need the fiber. We need to break down the enzymes. We need to break down the food sources, you know what I'm saying? So we can have a good stomach reset whenever we're intaking our food. So, I mean, I think you need a healthy combination of your fats. I know everybody's heard of these whole omega-3 fatty acids and, omega-6 fatty acids, and a lot of these, they combine them with, these fishes. So I agree. For people who like fish, you get healthy fats, but you also get nice protein. Like, I mean, my favorite fish is salmon. I'm an advocate for that. I also like flounder, things like that, and cooking them with these type of oils, so that way you can get the best benefit when it comes to eating healthy, and giving you those good nutrients and vitamins and minerals, like mackerel, flax seeds, like you said, your walnuts, things like that have these omega-3 fatty acids. So that way you can help prevent, and this is where some of the benefits are now coming from. So the healthy fats, they can prevent heart disease, they can prevent stroke. They also reduce blood pressure. They raise your HDLs. They lower your triglycerides. And this is coming from a scientific perspective. All these things can help prevent your heart issues, and things like that can help you pretty much live a more healthier life as a whole. So I think we still need to make sure we are intaking our healthy fats, and I don't want to go overboard with it, to keep it basic. So some of the things that we can eat from a good fats perspectives is good oils, and I like to keep things from a whole food perspective. Um, get your oils that you can that's like actual food. Like avocados are food that you can eat, but you can also use it as oil. Same thing with olive oil. These come from olives. Olives, again, you can eat the olives whole, but you can also use them as oil. So you can use these oils to your benefit. You can eat coconut. For people who don't have a nut allergy or anything, um, you can use the coconut oil as well. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that we're understanding what we're putting in our bodies. So for people who can't do your nuts, I get it, y'all. You can't really do nuts. I get that. Now you can do your excuse me, you can do your salmons, all that with the olive oils. So stick to those. Grapeseed oil is a really good one too. And I use grapeseed oil whenever I'm using high heat. So when I'm sauteing vegetables and things like that, I use grapeseed oil. I recommend grapeseed oil, even avocado oil. So for people who can't really do the nuts, they can't have, you can't have your almonds or anything like that. Use flax seeds. I'm saying you can use your oils to saute your things, and that's from a healthy fat perspective. And again, you can get more information on this from online, but I'm just citing my sources. You can go to Harvard, health.harvard.edu, understanding the differences when it comes to fats and healthy fats. But that's my recommendation. My recommendation on good fats is the oils that you eat. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Show eggs too. Eggs have high fats as well, good fats. But yeah, I want to make sure I hit all the edges. I think I hit all the edges.
Definitely, definitely. And let's leave them with this before we go on to the next. So you stated some really good stuff, and especially with our risers and our people just dealing with certain issues like the diabetes, the high blood pressure. Just be mindful of your good fats and bad fats. So we stated a lot. We planted the seed, and just be mindful. Be true to self. And if you want to if you want to be here, if you want to be as strong as you possibly can, we just definitely highly recommend just being mindful, just be conscious of those
Yep,
facts.
absolutely.
My
Sorry about that.
favorite, my favorite,
Your
that
favorite.
protein that coming next, huh? What's
You already
next?
know. Hey
My
man, look, we're
favorite.
gonna come with our proteins.
Yeah,
So y'all already know, man. This is the magic word. The magic word is proteins. So
protein.
yo, pretty much the most famous question of them all is what proteins should we be
Protein.
eating?
Yeah, yeah. What protein should we be eating? Another one we get that we'll slide this one in as a bonus. Man, you vegans, where do you get your protein from? You vegans. I hear that all the time, man. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I hear that
yeah.
all the time, man. Good God. I don't know how many times I get that a day. Where do you
Boy,
get your
come on.
protein from? Mm.
Yeah,
I'll let you I'm gonna let you I'm gonna get your perspective on it, and I'll slide behind you real quick. And I'm sure we probably agree to it, but
facts.
what's your intake on the proteins that we should be eating?
So here's how I do it. Here's how I say it. And I've been saying this, man. I've been saying this from day one. So for me personally, I am a high protein just type of guy. Um, I keep I if I'm not consuming all of my protein, my daily requirements through food, then I start to seek out some supplementation. Sometimes I use protein powders. I've been off of them a little bit lately, and for me, I do all plant based, and that's just my preference. I know different people have issues with whey, so just being mindful of that. But the protein powders, I believe I use a VEGA. A Vega is the brand that I
Mega
use, and it
Sport.
hasn't did anything to me. No, a low amount of additives, if any. I think it's kind of pure, but I know just probably for some shelf life, they probably have to add something. But it's been really pure to me. It goes down well. It's easily digested. Um, so yeah. So if you're not getting your required proteins from foods, then I always say, well, then that's when I go out and supplement, with my protein shakes. I used to be really big on not leaving the gym until I consume a protein shake. And if you're in it like that, you can like I say, I always talk about how I do a little bit. I play a little bit with the natural bodybuilding. I really enjoy doing some work with that. So I kind of play with things, play with the proteins, just see how they react, how the body
Right.
reacts to, just adjusting certain things. Um, and I wanted to address, so with that portion of it, you would basically have to really be already kind of looking into a My That's where a My will come in. Are you tracking your calories already?
There we go.
If you're just kind of looking for some proteins that you can consume, some good proteins, um, I would be honest on my recommendations. So I'm plant based. I still do consume a little bit of eggs. That was always an easy one for me.
Yep.
You mentioned the salmon. The salmon is a great one for me as well.
Yep.
I love the salmon. And then a myth, a big miscommon myth, is that there aren't any protein in the vegetables and the beans that we eat. But the crazy thing is, like I always respond to people, we getting our protein from the same places that the animals that you get your protein get their protein from.
Hmm.
Only difference is we're getting a direct source. Yours is getting
Right.
recycled through that animal, and then you get that protein out. So for us, there's a direct source. If you look on the labels of any of your anything, you're gonna see that it has some protein in it. So especially the legumes that we mentioned, the beans, yeah. So that's how we do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I figured we was gonna agree to that, man. I agree. I agree with everything you said, man. Like, for people who are more plant-based approach. I know some plant-based, they still eat meat, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, the eggs, the salmon, fish, just fish in general. Seafood really, like you can get your protein from these things. And like you said, from a plant-based perspective, um, well, before I get there, I'll answer the question on protein. Like, should we be intaking them? Yes, we do need our proteins when it comes to gaining weight and losing weight. My recommendation is to try to get most of your proteins from a plant-based source when possible. They're less inflammatory and they're better on your joints and long-term overall healthy approach to gaining the right energy and for long-lasting results. So, for example, some of my favorite protein sources are lentils, chickpeas, you know what I'm saying, kidney beans, pinto beans, snap peas, for people who like soy, tofu, tempeh, getting your nuts, your almonds, pistachios, cashews, walnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, all these different seeds. You can honestly get protein from certain grains like quinoa, wild rice, oats, kamut, teff. These are your grains that can produce good proteins as well. There's other vegetables out there that you can get really good protein from. My favorite is going to be Brussels sprouts. You got your Brussels sprouts, man. You got your asparagus. For people who actually like broccoli, you can do broccoli. These are things that you can eat to get you your proteins from your plants. And that I recommend whole food approaches. Now I get it. We're living in a society where we can't cook all the time. I do recommend plant-based proteins such as like Vega Sport is a good one. Actually, I'm gonna have a plant-based protein that I'm gonna be sponsored real soon. So I ain't get to tell nobody this, man. But we're gonna have a sponsor when it comes to certain supplements, and I've been doing some research and found a really good brand. And so I'll be promoting that brand, really soon coming up. But they have a good plant-based protein powder that you can intake that not only feeds your protein needs, but it also is a good probiotics. Probiotics are really good for energy sources, and they're good in getting your vitamin A, vitamin B, all your good vitamins to continue to live a healthy life. And again, we're here for performance and longevity and not being as sore and not as achy. You know what I'm saying? So these are going to be for a whole approach of ages. So a lot of the older, ladies and gentlemen who can't really move like that, they may have a little bit more aches and pains in your joints and things like that. These are your healthy proteins that you guys can eat to help release that inflammation in your body, to help you feel more alive, feel more energetic, so you can move and feel better. You tend to do better anyway too when you do that. So that's coming from a whole protein standpoint. Animal proteins like you got your chicken, turkey, certain seafoods, fishes, oysters, they're really good. Mussels, eggs, of course. I think we already said that. Even for my red meat eaters, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Try to keep those red meats as unprocessed as possible. Get your lean beefs, get your lean, like keep it lean as possible. You know what I'm saying? And you, even for my pork eaters, you can eat pork, but just make sure you limit it as well. You know what I'm saying? Goat meat is another really decent one. Red meat, of course. Just try to stay away from the process. Pretty much, you can get them from processed meats. I just don't recommend it. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a personal preference. I get some people, they like your processed meats like hot dogs, your sausages, your cold cuts, your bacons, and things like that. You can get them. You can get protein from that too, but just be wary. Do your research. But my recommendation is to eat less red meat as possible. You can get them. I would recommend not eating them too much, because these can cause different things too, different health issues. But my recommendation is to, again, make sure you understand a complete balance of diet, getting your proteins mostly from your vegetables, and then you can get some from your meat as well. But it's a combination. We need a combination. We have to have a healthy variety of foods choices because there's different foods for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? So to keep it a whole healthy approach to be as healthy as possible, have a diversity when it comes to your food. Try different vegetables. Try eggplant. Eat some carrots. Eat your spinach. Eat your spirulina. Eat some mushrooms. Eat some tomatoes. Have some bok choy. These are some of the vegetables that you know of, but maybe not eat as much because maybe you're not conditioned to eat these things. So I recommend trying different vegetables. Get your green beans, string beans, avocados, quinoa. You hear these things, but add them into your daily nutritional diet. So pecans, walnuts, things like that. Add these different foods and proteins into your diet to give you a more healthy, well-rounded, simple approach when it comes to eating a well, healthy diet and maintaining the longevity of healthy goal set and healthy lifestyle living in general. I think I hit
Facts.
all my points. I think I hit my points. Yep.
You hit everything. The only thing I just wanted to close with, I wanted to close out just by saying, insanity reminding us insanity is doing the same thing over, expecting different results. So obviously, hopefully, we're all just trying to live as healthy as we can be, and just understanding that this is a gift. These bodies, these temples that we have, it's a gift. It's a gift. So
Yeah,
just be really mindful of that. Especially the things that we can actually control. We can control what we're eating now. A lot of times it may feel like we can't, but we can definitely control what we're eating. And you said a great point. Just a little bit of variety. Like
absolutely.
I don't know any food company, just worth our loyalty to where it's basically we're sacrificing our health, and integrity. So I get that we may like certain foods, we may like certain things, but if it's not doing the best for us, functional wise, it may be worth just kind of looking into, especially if we have those weight loss goals, especially if we have some goals with lowering our blood pressure or just certain things. Just being mindful, and incorporate some of the variety. My brother
Yep.
Kobe mentioned some very great foods. We mentioned some very great options that you can have, and I definitely highly recommend that we try some of them. And
Yeah.
the only other thing I wanted to also mention was you spoke about the red meats, and I once ate the red meats and I indulged. My biggest tip or my biggest just a helping point would be just watch your preparation. So we already spoke about the good fats and bad fats. If you're frying chicken all the time, that may be something that we have to be mindful of. What the body
Yeah.
can't use, what the body can't use for nutritional reasons is stored as fat. And that's where it accumulates around that area, around
Yep.
this area, around these stubborn area, around these areas. So just being mindful of the preparation. I wanted to mention how sweet potatoes is a superfood.
It
But a lot
is.
of us, especially traditionally as black people, what do? Man, we throwing the cinnamon, we throwing the sugars, we throwing the marshmallows. And I'm one for
Come
I'll
on.
spice up my sweet potatoes all day long. I'll
Oh
dip a
yeah.
little cinnamon. But when we go crazy, like when we go overindulge, when I was a young pup, oh man, that thing tasted just straight like sweet.
Marshmallows,
You feel me? It
everything.
was it was it was it might as well have been some candy. You
It
feel me?
was
So
candy yams.
definitely, just being mindful of your preparation. If you want to eat meat, go for it. I used to like to bake and grill. Bake and grill. Be mindful of your seasons. Try to keep
Yeah.
that sodium down, especially if we're one that's already mentioned in high blood pressure. You
Come
know,
on. Come on.
and that's what
Yeah.
I got on it.
Yeah. No, you hit it, man. I think people need to I think they really need to take note, like you said, because um don't look at someone else's success and think that that's what you got to do, because that's not the case. Everybody's different. It's just like you can't look at someone else's chapter 10, you know what I'm saying, and compare it to your chapter 1, because at some point they started somewhere to get them to where they want to be at. So just don't think because they're doing a specific food or eating, whatever, think that's what you have to do. You got to find what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, some people just have high blood pressure. So you got to do certain things. And I think the biggest thing about eating healthy, man, when it comes to understanding carbs, understanding fats and proteins, really is on understanding where you are. And what I mean by that is, if you know you have high blood pressure, if you know you have, I don't even know what other things, man, like maybe high insulin, whatever the case may be, you might not necessarily be able to eat certain foods. So I think it's just as important to know what you're supposed to eat and also know what you're not supposed to eat. Because what we're not supposed to be eating is just as important as what we should be eating. And not everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? So you just need to understand where you are to get to where your goals are, because maybe you just can't eat certain things for the moment. Maybe you can eat them later after you've accomplished some things and it won't be as bad. But understand where you are, because a lot of us, we fall back on some of our old habits, you know what I'm saying, when we get uncomfortable. Because working out can be uncomfortable. Eating healthy can be uncomfortable, and then once we get to that part where we're just like, oh, I'm urgent. Oh man, I'm falling back in the old ways. The relapse, you know what I'm saying? The relapse is always to fall back on what you know, and what you know can pretty much get you back to where you started, and then you're starting back over from square one. So just understand where you are, you know what I'm saying? And like Showtime said, man, you gotta have a balance. Gotta have a balance. If you know your weakness is candy, find something to substitute that candy. I mean, find something healthy that can substitute it. You know what I'm saying? Find a different hobby. Find a different trick. You know what I'm saying? Have a healthy replacement for the unhealthy habit. It's all about habits. Find a good habit to counteract that bad habit. You know what I'm saying? And do that until you can control your bad habit. Because I think all of us have some type of habit. Like my favorite dessert of all time is cheesecake. I'm not gonna eat cheesecake every day, you know what I'm saying? But I can control my habit. Like I can eat it, but I'm not gonna continue to eat it. I'm not gonna just, I need another, I need another, I need another. That can be bad. That's a bad habit. A lot of us have bad habits, but replace it with good habits enough to where you can control your bad habit, to where it doesn't become a bad habit anymore. You know what I'm saying? So look at that when it comes to food. Find a good habit to replace enough bad habits where you can control it. To where if you can get to the point where you can now say, I like candy, but I'm not gonna need it right now, you're controlling that habit. I like this type of food. I like fried chicken, but I know what it does to me when I continue to indulge in it because I can't control myself. A lot of us have control issues. So I'll leave everybody with this. We gave y'all some good gems on what to eat. I'm going to say just as important, learn how to say no to the bad habits that control your life. And the rest of that, with what we told you, it'll be a breeze. You'll know what to eat. You can eat those good things, but make sure you can control your bad habits. Learn to say no to the things that you can control as far as it's bad, and understand to be grateful for the good foods, the good habits. Even though they're different, they may not taste whatever, but like you said, find a way to make them taste great that can aid you in your goals, and just be blessed for it and say, thank you. I can now eat something good that can, fuel my goals. I can lose weight good now. I can lose weight and have fun with it. I can gain weight and have fun with it.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a slave to the cake. I'm not a slave to the bad habits anymore, because now I'm informed and now I can control it to where, this good old plate of, dessert is in front of you. Now I have the option to say, man, I know it's good. I know what it tastes like, but I got to say no because I have a bigger purpose. I got a bigger goal, and now I'm in control of what I can and can't eat. And I'm gonna replace that unhealthy cake, and I'm gonna have this, these nuts and vegetables and things like that, because I need fuel for my body. I got to eat. But eventually I'm gonna come back to that cake, but I'm just know I'm controlling it though. Yeah. I'm gonna control that, get my goals knocked out the way, and reward myself. Eventually I'm gonna have that cake, but I'm gonna be in control of it this time versus letting the cake control me. Yeah, so I'll leave my final words to that, man.
Let's go. And I just want to leave them with, I just want to add in, man, it's discipline. Have some fun with your discipline. That's what I did. I wanted to see how disciplined I could be. Yeah, absolutely. I used to love, man, when I started eating that bacon, boy, it was crazy. Oh man,
Love
I'm
some
gonna be a
bacon, bro.
breakfast guy. Come on, I'm a breakfast guy. You could put bacon on any burger, any chicken sandwich, and I was eating it.
Mm,
But I started
breakfast
having
and
fun with
sausage.
my discipline. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like I understood that I had a goal, and my goal was, like I mentioned, day in and day out. I love my daughter. I love my wife. I want to be here for my family. I love my parents. You feel me? Like I'm man. Just I'm not a selfish guy, man. And I'm having fun with my discipline. Yeah, I be wanting some of that, like you said, some of the cakes. Yeah, I be wanting some of the eat the this, that, and the third every day. But I'm having fun with my discipline. It
Yes,
excites
sir.
me to see how disciplined I could be. It excites me to sit down at a table where everybody going crazy, everybody, you feel me, just indulging in whatever they want to indulge in.
Come
And I'm
on.
sitting here like, you know what? I'll take a salad. You sure? You don't want that? I'll take a salad. I'm good
There
with
you
this. I'm
go.
good
Come
with some
on.
veggies. You
Yeah.
feel me? And that's that.
Hey,
That's
man,
that.
that's yo. We listen. Hey, you was dropping some jams, bro. Like you came through with some buckets, boy.
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that's real, man. Hey, I think that conclude this podcast, man.
Yeah,
Hey, Showtime, I appreciate you, man. You one of the greats out here, man. You doing good work out here. You know what I'm saying? Continue to be blessed. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna always pour into you. Anything you need from me, man, you know I got you. Just let me know. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
dope.
We're
Love.
gonna kick it off, man. This is the Rise and Rise podcast, man. We told y'all what to eat. You know what I'm saying? We told y'all what not to eat. You dig what I'm saying? And so, hey, we're gonna leave y'all now.
Yeah.
When we face with an obstacle, man, what we do?
You already know we rise and rise, baby.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.